on one last glass, so which is just extra content for the people. So let's get into some stuff, man. We're just gonna learn more about Max. First of all, Max is your name, but it's not your.
Not my first name.
Right.
Yeah.
I always find it interesting that people, you know, when they do that, it's usually for a reason. What was your reason for not going by your first name?
My reason is I was named after my dad. So my dad is Robert Ernie Ellis. Is his his full name, Robert Ernie Ellis, and my first name's Robert.
Yeah.
Robert Maxwell Ellis. So named after my dad, but they didn't want to. You know, when you got two Roberts, like it just confuses things.
Yeah.
So they went ahead and just picked the middle name, shortened it to, instead of Maxwell, shortened it to Max, and I'm Max now.
Like that.
So yeah, it's been like that forever.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, so let's get into some music stuff. That again, you know,
that's my bread and butter.
That's the, you know what I'm saying. That's like Steph Curry in threes. That's your go-to.
100%.
Okay, so let's go. So you said your favorite band is, pick one. If you had to, like, it's like, this is the band I'm listening to for the rest of my life.
Can I do two?
I'll give you two.
Okay.
I'll give you two, and then I'll do my two.
So two, and I'm sorry I can't do one, but there's no way.
No, it's fine.
There's honestly, two is egregious. Like I can't.
It's a tough thing to do.
But I'm gonna do two. Gun to my head, I'll say the Arctic Monkeys.
Okay.
And the Strokes.
Now, any reason why? Why are those the two that you go to as?
I will say there kind of is. So first off, they're incredible bands, but the Arctic Monkeys, their first album, their debut album, it's called Whatever People Say I Am, That's What I'm Not. It came out like 2006, 2007-ish. I was 13, something like that, 14 when it came out. I think it was like 13 or 14 when it came out.
Okay.
When that album came out, it was the first album that this was back when CDs were big, right?
Sure. Yeah.
So, I had heard like the debut single on like some like random like MTV, like MTV3 or like one of those like weird channels that was up there, like that would actually play music.
Yeah.
I had heard the first single, on that album, just on whatever channel that was, and like was watching it, and I was like, what in the hell is this?
Yeah.
Like, I've never heard anything like this. This is amazing. I need to find out who these guys are, and I need more of this.
Yeah.
So, I was back before like everybody had a computer, like, and I had like a laptop and everything. Like, people had computers, but I didn't. As a 14-year-old, and so I remember like running upstairs and being like, Dad, like, who is this song by? You've got to like find out who does this, whatever. So he like Googled it and was like, it's the Arctic Monkeys. And I was like, is the album out? Like, when's the album come out? Like, whatever.
Yeah.
And he told me like it actually was coming out in like 2 or 3 days from when I told him to Google that. And so like the day it came out, like I begged my mom to take me to like Walmart, Target, wherever, so that I could get this album. Went to Walmart, they didn't have it. Went to Target and they had it. And I got this album, and I just remember this so vividly. And I got it, and I listened to it all the way through. And like from that moment on, that was the moment, like the catalyst for me to be like, I want to do this. Like, I want to make music. I want to continue to listen to music. I want to grow my musical taste into something, you know, more than it already is. And I want to, you know, I want to be more into this, and I want to hear more stuff like this.
Yeah.
So that was just like huge for my music. I don't want to say career, but like the transformation. The transformation of music that I listened to and that I ended up listening to, and still do today. And then for the Strokes, I don't have like some story like that, but very kind of similar band to the Arctic Monkeys. Like, not the same, you know, not like a direct copy or anything, but they kind of started in a way some of the waves that the Arctic Monkeys were on when they made their first album. Kind of that like early 2000s, like kind of grimy garage rock type music. I mean, I'm just really into that genre of music, and the Strokes kind of, in a lot of ways, like kick-started that movement. And they were just such an original band when they came out, and I don't know, I just think they were really, really important for music.
Okay.
You know?
For me, Linkin Park would be one. Linkin Park was they were like the perfect mix between like rock and like rap, the kind of like Yoda or whatever, and just Hybrid Theory is like all time classic.
It's a great album.
All time classic album.
It's great.
Meteora, the follow up, obviously really good too.
Which one do you like better than two? Hybrid Theory.
Hybrid Theory.
Yeah.
Hybrid Theory.
With that, I think it's better.
But you can't go wrong with either one. And for years, like they just and then they did the link with Jay-Z. So like they've always been this really big band for me. So like those one, But my favorite band of all time, Red Hot Chili Peppers. Those are my guys.
I knew that you liked it.
Those are my guys. I could listen to Red Hot Chili Peppers anytime.
What a front man, Anthony Kiedis. Come on, dude, he's so good.
And Flea, the perfect voice. Yeah, Flea, come on, man. Like
so good.
It's gonna be rough when and I don't like think about it. Like when one passes, then it's like you just gotta stop at that point.
Yeah.
It's like you can't replace these type of people.
They are.
Yeah, like that's. Yeah. It's like Voltron. Like you can't have Voltron without one of the pieces.
Exactly.
You gotta
they're so good. I mean, that's a great top two. I'll give it to you.
Those are my.
Can I ask you a question then?
Yeah,
about
go ahead.
Music related.
Do it, man.
Let's do top three because I want to keep it low.
Sure.
I don't want to steal your spotlight.
No, fine.
Let's do top three favorite rappers or groups, hip hop, all time. So not right now, but all time.
Okay. My favorite, right? Not top three best, just my favorite.
Yeah, favorite,
okay.
not best. And I'm glad, by the way, before you answer that, I'm glad that you can understand the difference between favorite and best. Because a lot of people can't.
Get that confused.
A lot of people can't.
People get that confused.
Which I knew that you could, but yeah, a lot of people can't.
It's okay. Like Jay-Z is probably he's definitely one of the best rappers.
No doubt.
But I wouldn't put him in my favorite rappers. You know what I'm saying? So
I
can acknowledge that,
agree.
like, dog, career-wise, rapping-wise, he's like one of the best to ever
Resume.
do it. One of the best to ever do it.
Could not agree.
But if you were to ask me who my favorite is, he doesn't get into my top three, and that should be okay.
He's probably not in my top 10.
You know what I'm saying? That should be okay. Like it should be like this huge thing.
And people get their feelings hurt.
They
about
get
that
upset,
and
bro.
everything,
Oh, they get so mad.
It's crazy.
I guess for me, all right. So rappers.
Rap.
Obviously, number one. Lupe Fiasco.
Oh, is that a Lupe shirt?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I got it. He was.
What was that album called?
Food and Liquor.
Food and Liquor. Yeah. What a great album, man.
He was my favorite rapper of all time.
Was that his first album? I know it was his breakout album.
That was his debut album. I just remember,
Kick Push, the first single.
It was before school, 2006, I want to say.
Sounds right.
I was, before the bus was coming, I would use this music channel, just, on the XM or on the satellite. Jump come on, I'm like, it's a song about skateboarding. I'm like, dog, this is fire.
Yeah.
Like he's kicking like crazy, like different, you know what I'm saying? And it's a dope song. Ever since then, I got the jump, and then the rest was history.
Yeah. I knew you were a big Lupe guy.
Huge Lupe fan.
Did you like? And I'm sorry to keep interrupting
you,
but now I want to. When you say that, I want to know more.
Yeah, go ahead.
Excuse me. Do you like that album more than you like The Cool, or vice versa?
I like The Cool more than Food and Liquor.
I do too.
Yeah, The Cool was just. I don't even know how to explain it. But he just did a lot of different things on the Cool.
Right.
And a lot of people have that sophomore slump, and I feel like he got better. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
I feel like he got better. I feel like
not to knock that album.
No.
But
really good album. He gets off. Like not many people can say they got off on a song with Jay-Z.
For sure.
Like Jay-Z, I say Lupe had a better verse, but to be able to go toe to toe with Jay-Z, that's not an easy.
It's unheard of.
It's not an easy.
People,
So, but Lupe for sure. Um, my second one is not a lot of people know about him just because I feel like every person has their like this the guy that latch on to like this guy's gonna be the next big thing or
Right,
whatever. And I
right,
talked about
right.
last episode, but it's Charles Hamilton.
Okay.
There was a dude that during a blog era, I was in college, 2008, 2007, 2008. And I heard this dude. He's wearing Sonic shirts, wearing pink hats. He had all these different songs, and like he was sampling like Sonic the Hedgehog on his beats or whatever. He produced everything. And I was like, dog, this dude is different than anything I've heard before. And he had different like flows and different, you know what I'm saying? So
Sure.
that guy for sure. Cause he used to give out music like all the time, like flooding the streets with just music, project after project after project.
I love that so much.
So he'll be my second.
Okay.
Third favorite all time. I guess for me, just because he was my favorite before Lupe came around, I would probably be Tupac.
Tupac?
I was a big Tupac guy. Tupac's not the greatest lyrical rapper. He's not a lyrical rapper. That's not his thing.
Sure.
But he puts a lot of passion and energy into his music that made you believe everything he was saying.
Right. And it's not to say he's not a good lyrical
No,
rapper, but he's not. I know what you're saying.
Right.
I know what you're saying.
Compared to other rappers, he's not as lyrical or whatever. But like, you know, Brenda's Got a Baby, Keep Your Head Up.
Right.
You know, I Get Around. He like had different. Like he had different eras. Like it was, you know, fun Tupac and then angry Tupac. And then
that's a good point.
I focus on death Tupac.
That's
you know what
a good point.
He had different eras. You know what I'm saying? In such a short span.
Right.
And so I was, and my uncle was like big into Tupac. So like I've always had this appreciation for Tupac. So I would say those three.
That's a really good point about Tupac, by the way. Would you put Zay in your top 5?
All time?
Yeah.
Probably not yet.
Not yet.
But he's
on his way there.
Right now he is. Like it's like rappers right now, he's definitely on top 5. He's probably like, as far as like consistently putting out music, like doesn't take big, you know, he takes huge breaks in between. Yeah. But Zay's probably my favorite rapper now that actually actively
like number
raps.
1 right
that
now.
actively raps. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I was gonna say. I thought he would be.
Yeah. So he did, but the trajectory, he's probably closing in on top 10.
I mean,
and we'll probably end up top 5.
And the thing with him, it was so like, you know, that new album coming out. It's like it's been so long, like so much anticipation. Like that thing was like set up to flop. You know what I mean? Like, it was set up to be
so
shitty.
Easily could have been like, this just wasn't what we were looking for.
And it didn't. It didn't even get close to it, man. And it was so good. Like that, I forget the song name, but the one with SZA that Kenny Beats produced. Whatever it's called.
Oh my god.
And Black's on it.
Yeah, I think I was called. It's right now. But yeah, that's
so good. So much good production on that album.
I love Kenny Beats. Kenny Beats is good. Kenny Beats is good for Zay.
Did I turn you on to Kenny Beats?
I'd always known that him and Zay were like cool,
that
whatever,
existed.
But you know what I'm saying, again, putting the face to the person, the name always helps.
Right.
So but like they're good for each other.
So
like,
good.
They're really cool.
So good.
Yeah. You want to give your 3?
Sure. Yeah. My top 3, and we're doing all time still.
All time. Yep.
All time. 1. I'm actually gonna go with group. 1, A Tribe Called Quest.
Okay.
A Tribe Called Quest is my favorite hip hop act of all time.
Okay.
I love A Tribe Called Quest.
Okay.
And not just, I mean, a lot of people look at A Tribe Called Quest and they think like some of their, like, people like make fun of some of their lyrics for being corny and shit because it was like truly like early 90s rap, like before like before like Biggie and Tupac, like before that kind of like gangster rap stuff started popping off. Like it was real.
You always gotta realize who you're talking to.
Yeah, you gotta take the era into consideration.
Right. Which that's another thing you have trouble with.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the fact that, you know, there was 3 of them for the most part, it kind of, that number fluctuated. But you know, they made their own beats, they did all that stuff. And like Midnight Marauders is just like it's like one of my it's top.
It's probably one of the best albums of all time.
It could be top 5 favorite. Nah, probably not top 5, but it could be top 10 favorite albums for me of all time, just in general, across all genres.
Yeah.
So good, man. So good. I love A Tribe Called Quest. They're probably my number 1. And then I'd probably say Biggie's probably too.
Okay.
I was thinking like trying to give somebody maybe newer and not from like the '90s as well, but like it's Biggie, man.
Yeah.
Like I mean, I'm a Biggie over Pac guy. I know you're different, but
Yeah.
like Biggie just, I mean, he's the one. Like, he's the guy who got me into '90s hip hop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like before Biggie. Before I started listening to Biggie, I was into like exclusively like new hip hop, which is cool, you know.
There's nothing wrong with that at all. No.
And that's fine, but like he's the one that really opened my my eyes to the fact that like, because I was younger, opened my eyes to the fact of like, wait, like people could rap back then. Like
there was stuff back here that was like really good.
Yeah, like this isn't just like a new man's game.
Yeah.
Like this has been going on for a while, and like you know, just because it might be older, like I mean, it doesn't mean it's not good. So I would say Biggie's too. It's just really tough, like putting like Biggie and Pac in your top three because like they only had like 2 or 3 albums each, so it's like hard to say.
My friend was having a very similar conversation this recently.
Yeah.
Where he was like, he thinks Biggie gets a pass because he's from New York. Because a lot of times you see like people die, you know, prematurely or tragically, but they only had like one or two albums.
Sure.
But like you're putting them in the top 5.
Right.
And my response was like, yeah, but it's like, and his main point is like you don't get the ability, like I was talking about Kendrick, to fall off.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it's like, for me, and I think a lot of people, is like you look at it and it's like, just looking at his trajectory, the amount of hits he was able to have,
right,
and the albums that he did was able to give us. It's like you kind of see it, like you know, what I'm saying, you kind of see where it's like he was probably gonna be around for a while.
You got to take the trajectory into consideration.
Yeah, and like he was pointing up, so it's like I get it, you know, not a lot of work to to focus on, but like what you do have is like classic.
So good.
So it's like I don't think having I know as we get older, like you start to be like, oh, maybe we should put somebody else in the top 5, but I'm never gonna argue with anybody who has Pac or Biggie in the top 5.
And by the way, albums, bands, whatever, top 5, my top 5, it'll be different in an hour. It'll be different tonight. Like I mean, it's constantly fluctuating.
You could easily like have a night of listening to music and be like, oh yeah, we got that.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
It's so much different.
For sure.
But yeah, I'd say Biggie's probably 2, and then 3. I do want to throw a newer guy in the mix. I would probably say Kendrick.
Okay.
Just because, I mean, like I said, man, like he hasn't missed yet. He hasn't got close to missing yet. Even with like the Untitled, Unmastered, I guess you can call that an album, EP, whatever.
I think it was like an EP or whatever. I mean, it was still good stuff.
Even with that, I mean, that was him basically saying, hey, these were the songs that didn't make the album, and those were like,
right.
That was so much better.
Those were still really good songs.
It was so much better than so many albums that people do put out. So it's like, I mean, that guy is just on another level right now.
His not good enough songs are better than people's excellent songs.
Way better.
So it's like
way better than a lot of people.
Yeah.
And so I mean, I think Kendrick, and I think talking about trajectory, I mean, I think like if he keeps it up, which he's proven to us time and time again that he can. Like everybody after Good Kid, Mad City was like, okay, he's not gonna put out another one like that.
How does he follow it up?
And then he drops To Pimp a Butterfly.
And then they ask again, how does he follow up? And he follows up. So like that's what he does.
And it's just like, man, like when Damn came out, like I mean, I think everybody was kind of thinking the same thing. Like you would listen to like The Breakfast Club or whoever. They would be like, when that album first came out, everybody collectively was like, he did it. Like he did it again. Nobody thought he would do it again. He just did it again. And I mean, I think that's amazing.
He doesn't seek out singles, which is another thing.
It's a good point. It's a good point.
Like he'll run into one accidentally.
Right.
Like DNA. Was a single.
Like Alright.
You know what I'm saying? These are singles, but it's not like he was actively like, yeah, let's try to make this single. It's just that's just organic.
Right. seen his interview on YouTube with Rick Rubin?
I don't think I watched it.
Man, you would really enjoy it. Knowing you, you would enjoy the hell out of this. It's like a 45-minute conversation, I want to say, maybe an hour-long conversation. I think it was put on by GQ, actually.
Okay.
It's Kendrick and Rick Rubin just talking at Shangri-La Studios, which is one of Rick Rubin's studios. I think it's in like Calabasas or something like that.
Always.
It's them talking, just like having like an hour-long conversation. It is, when it comes to music, one of the most insightful conversations I've ever heard. It's incredible. I'll link you to it after
for sure.
after we get out of here. But I mean, you've got to listen to that. I mean, it's just it's obviously, you know, arguably greatest producer of all time.
Yeah.
Like music's Jesus in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Rick Rubin, or at least hip hop's.
Yeah.
Talking to, you know, Kendrick Lamar, arguably the greatest rapper out today,
right.
and just kind of shooting the shit like we are right now. Such an interesting conversation. You gotta check it out.
I'll definitely add to it listening.
For sure.
I know you hit me to the Kenny Beach thing that he was doing.
Yeah, like the cave. And
yeah,
all that.
I wasn't mad at that. So yeah, I'll definitely give that a go. Man.
For sure.
Okay, let's do a couple more things. I want you to give me get ugly here. I want you to give me we'll do producer. Give me an underrated producer. And give me an overrated producer.
Oh, I gotta do overrated.
Yeah, it's crazy out here.
Oh,
yeah.
Underrated. Underrated, I would say. It's different, right? So here's the thing with producers. I think a lot of people don't even know producers, right? Like they can't tell you who produced a specific song.
No one's checking the credits.
No one's checking the credits
right.
like that. And like I think that there's a lot of producers that like only people in the producer world know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That are like actively, or just enormous hip hop fans.
Right.
But the average person is neither. You know, they're not a producer. They're not enormous hip hop fans. They like music. They don't know. They don't know who the hell produced it.
Yeah.
You know. So with that said, there's a lot of producers that I think producers would think are underrated or overrated, but the average person would say, no, I love this song, or I hate that song, or whatever.
Yeah.
But from my point of view as a producer, that's kind of how I'll like answer the question.
Sure.
So underrated, I'm gonna have to go with. Actually, let me start overrated, because I think that's gonna be easier for me. Overrated, and this is gonna sound so shitty, because he's amazing. But overrated, I'm gonna have to say Metro Boomin.
Okay.
I think Metro Boomin is an incredible producer, and I think he's done some amazing things.
Yeah.
But that dude was playing like EDC in like Las Vegas. I mean, that guy's been on like festival lineups as a producer, and like he's very good, and I think he's very talented. But like, he's not. I don't know. Like, there's better producers out there, and he was like the only producer that anybody talked about for like a stretch of like 3-4 years. I mean, he was like the guy.
Yeah. I think that happens to a lot of producers though, when they get like there's a year or two or a stretch where they are the
like
hot
Lex
commodity.
Luger, like
thank you.
Yeah, like stuff
they
like
are
that.
the hot commodity for what's called.
So maybe I wouldn't call that overrated. Maybe he just went through one of those phases, because he's not.
Yeah.
You know, he's not like I think Murda Beats is going through one of those phases too. So it's hard to say like who's overrated, because a lot of people just I think go through those phases and aren't.
I think what happens
consistent
is they get oversaturated. You get oversaturated, and then, like you start listening like before even knowing who produced the beat, you're like, I know who
it is.
You know who it is.
I think Jetson's on that plane right now. Like I think there's a lot of people that are kind of like there, and like I don't want to say that those people are overrated, but like I think that there's times where like people go through those phases, and that's all anybody wants to talk about, and it's just like, how about just give other people their shot during that time period.
So
instead
what I'm
of,
hearing is,
yeah.
what I'm hearing is that you don't necessarily think these people are overrated. You think that they become such a hot commodity that the way they're used and the way like they keep running everything makes them overrated. Which
Yeah.
is it's a give or take thing. Like you know,
Right.
you are oversaturating the market, but it's like
Sure.
you're really good at what you do. Like everybody wants to work with you.
Right.
So I can see it from both. So
Yeah,
that makes sense.
You know what I'm saying.
Yeah, that makes sense. So who do you think isn't getting enough shine? So that's what we say is the underrated.
Who do I think's not getting enough shine? And this
Yeah.
is tough because I've got a couple for this one.
Okay.
And there's just a couple of people like on the internet, like Twitter, Instagram, whatever, that will make these like incredible um, like clips, TikTok, whatever, videos
Yeah.
to like kind of show off their production. And I think that these people are so good at producing that they should be contacted by every rapper in the game to make beats for them.
Yeah.
But they're not. Like they're kind of producers, and they make what we call producer porn. Like
Yeah.
they make music or they make production for that's really only heard and known by other producers.
Yeah.
And excuse me, my personal opinion is that these people should be on every radio station in America. Like
Yeah.
rappers should be rapping over their shit. So to name a couple of those people, The Count is a huge one. I don't know if you know The Count, but Kenny Beats is huge into The Count.
Yeah.
And The Count actually makes a ton of different sample packs, so they're like drum packs.
Yep.
People use his drums
Yep.
for their beats. The Count's drums are on so many like top 40 songs these days. It's not even funny. Like,
Yeah.
and people don't even know who the guy is.
Yeah.
So I would say The Count. Kalen Ellis is another big one like that. Kalen
Yeah.
Ellis did that. I think he needs to be producing for more people. Monty Booker, I think he needs to be. He's starting to get a lot of traction.
Yeah.
Especially like he's done some stuff with Smino lately that's been really good. But Monty Booker, and I would say there's a lot of electronic guys that like nobody's heard of,
Yeah.
like who's not into that scene.
Yeah.
But one that comes to mind in particular, who also makes hip hop beats that I feel like should be on, who should be making hip hop beats for more rappers, is this guy named Saruda. His name's Thomas Saruda, and his alias for hip hop beats is Cousin Lit. So it's like Cousin It from the Addams Family with the hair, but Cousin Lit.
Yeah.
But Saruda, it's Tsuruda.
Okay.
I think that's right. So, I know I gave a lot of examples, but
Yeah,
I think there's a ton of underrated.
It's good to
there.
I do that with like a lot of artists.
Yeah.
Where it's like I feel like I listen to their music like they should be heard more and more and more.
Right.
So yeah, and producers is even harder because like again, like I said, nobody goes in and like checks the credits like who produced the song. You know what I'm saying? So it's good that you shed light on a bunch of these different guys. So.
They deserve it.
Yeah,
At the end of the day, they do.
For sure. So, all right, let me get you out of here on these questions, man. We usually do this, and this is how we end the segment. So, yeah, we'll do the deserted island question.
Okay.
So, one TV show on the desert island, one movie, one album, one meal, and one book.
All right, you're gonna have to remind me of those as we're going.
That's
so
fine.
first was TV show.
TV show.
Mad Men.
Okay.
No question.
Okay.
Didn't even have to think about
guessing,
that one.
just Mad Men immediately.
Mad Men. Mad Men is the. Should I elaborate on any of
You
these?
can, sure.
Mad Men is the first TV show that I like fell in love with. It was the first TV show where I was like, this is art. This is amazing.
Yeah.
Mad Men. It's incredible. It's such a cool like kind of play on what life was like in like the 50s and 60s, like late 50s, early 60s into the late 60s of actually shit, it might have started early 60s. I guess it doesn't matter, but anyways, it's that time period. It's like a great play on like what life was like back then.
Yeah.
and all the ups and downs. But it's really like almost like a historical period piece. Like it talks about race. It talks about inequality. It talks about the Cold War. It talks about just the different things that were happening in that time. In just such an informed and interesting way.
Yeah.
That I feel is just really really cool. So Mad Men, and then what was number 2?
Movie.
Movie is that's tougher for me because I love a lot of good movies. Probably There Will Be Blood.
Okay.
Have you seen that movie?
I don't watch movies.
Yeah. You're not a big movie guy?
I'm a big TV show guy. So
Yeah. There Will Be Blood. It's a Paul Thomas Anderson movie.
Okay.
Incredible movie. It's about just real quick. It's about the main character is played by Daniel Day-Lewis.
Okay.
Who's a pretty famous actor.
Yeah.
But it's basically about this like dude back in like the 1910s, 1920s. Actually, maybe even earlier than that, like 1890s or something. Who is like this really really poor like oil worker.
Yeah.
And he like hits an oil jackpot. Like he like finds an oil well and becomes this like oil magnate and becomes like uber rich.
Yeah.
And it's just about his life and like how money changes him and how he like becomes this different person.
Yeah.
Great movie.
Okay.
And
next one is album. One album.
Yeah. One album?
Yeah, that's the one that's gonna kill you,
bro. That's torture.
I know.
And I can't give 2.
No.
I can't get 5, man.
One album, bro. One album.
One album. Oh god, this hurts. I'm gonna say that album I mentioned earlier. Whatever people say I am, that's what I'm not, by the Arctic Monkeys.
Okay. Good choice. And one meal. So that's so it'll just be like a drop package. So like they'll drop you a meal for dinner every night until you get what's called breakfast.
So is it like do I get sides? Do I get like a drink?
Whatever
I want to do. It's gonna be. And do I need to go as specific as saying like where this shit's from? Like this kind of.
You can do whatever you want to do, bro.
I ate at this little Italian spot when I was over in Spain, believe it or not.
Okay.
Not even in Italy. I don't even remember the name of this joint, to be honest with you. I'm sure I could find it if I wanted to. But they had this lasagna. I'm a big Italian food guy.
Okay.
It would be, and it's a shame that I don't know the name of this place, but it would be the lasagna from this little Italian restaurant that I ate at in Spain for like my first, I guess, course or like my entree or whatever.
Yeah.
That, and just to kind of mix it up a little bit, I know it doesn't go with the lasagna, but a really, really, well, first off, a really good glass of red wine.
Okay.
My grandma's mashed potatoes. Doesn't go with the lasagna, but whatever. Gotta have it. And my grandma's blackberry cobbler.
Okay.
That's probably it.
Okay.
And then I know that those don't necessarily mix well together, but I mean, it's my favorite, man.
Yeah,
I gotta do it.
I'm not mad at that at all. And finally, one book.
One book, that's also an easy one for me.
Okay.
Brave New World by Aldous Huxley.
Okay. Any reason?
It's an incredible book, man. And it was the main reason for me, and I don't know if you know this, but my Twitter Abby, that's Aldous Huxley.
Okay.
That guy. I think it was such an I think he was such an insightful guy. And that book was written in the early 30s, I think. And it's like a science fiction book. Like it was like one of the first like big science fiction books.
Yeah.
And I think it did such like an eerily amazing job at describing the future and the world that we live in today. And it's just like crazy, like it was so insightful from a dude living in the 1930s, just being able to pretty much spot on predict what was going to happen to our world. and what is going to continue to happen to our world in the future when it comes to like authoritarianism and
Yeah.
like lack of privacy, like that kind of thing. Like I don't know. I think it was the definition of ahead of its time.
Yeah.
Incredible book.
That's dope. So, I'll lie to you. One more question.
Yeah, let's
One
get
more
it.
question. Um, if you can go back in time, take yourself today, change yourself to freshman Max
Freshman
in college.
college.
What you tell them? What are you gonna tell them? Say anything to them.
Say anything to him. Freshman Max. I'm gonna say. I know what I'm gonna say. I don't know how I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say. Don't. You know what? I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it simple, and I'm gonna use Kenny Beats' motto: "Don't overthink shit.
Yeah.
Don't overthink shit. Everything will work itself out. Don't, um, get inside your head too much and get freaked out over shit that might seem big at the moment,
Yeah.
but that in the long run you'll look back at and laugh about.
Yeah.
Don't overthink shit. Everything happens for a reason. Whatever you're going through right now, you'll get through it, and it won't be the end of the world."
That's what's up. Appreciate you, brother.
Anytime, man. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.